Hello everyone, my name is Flammy, and I'm here to talk about gems, spending money, and how Supercell works. Now, this is a little informational guide because I'm noticing a lot of sort of bad comments with the recent update. So I'm making this video just after the Heroes update was released in January. And with every big update, you'll see some high levels will be rushing to get all the new things really quickly. So as you can see, I've got my Dark Elixir storage. I built this slowly and naturally. It took a full day to complete. A little bit longer, so I had to get a little extra elixir. I didn't have quite enough when their update was released. So this just finished up. This is about 1 day and 6 hours after the update came out. Well, you can go to the top of the leaderboards, and anyone can do this. Just come up here and you can load up any of these guys and just load them up, and you can see how much they've already spent and upgraded. So this guy's got some of these new walls. I think those are the level 9 walls. There's also level 10 ones. He's got a level 10 Barbarian King. He's probably got a Queen around here somewhere. Yep, level 10 Queen. And this guy's honestly not as high as some of the others. This crossbow, level 3 now. That was also released, so he's obviously upgraded that as well. The other crossbow he built and upgraded to level 3 completely. So you can see basically this guy has spent a decent number of gems to hurry all this stuff up. Otherwise it's just not simply possible to get this stuff up to this high of a level within, what has it been? What did I say, like 36 hours? No, less than. Like 30 hours really. So how does this happen? And obviously it's gems, but what are sort of the mechanics behind gems, and why are gems really an essential part of this game? So gems, if you were not aware, are the currency in this game. So right here you can buy different amounts of gems for different amounts of currency. I am in the US, so I have US dollars, but you can buy these whatever your local currency is. And as well as resources, which these players also did, certainly for the walls and stuff. So you can see all the different resources available to be purchased here. And so why do gems really matter, and why is it actually a good thing? So when you see people doing this on the top of the leaderboards, you might immediately think, hey, this is terrible, like, they can spend like $1,000 and just do this right away, like, that's unfair, right? They're getting ahead. Well, yes, they are getting ahead, but the thing is, they're not really getting much that you couldn't get if you had played long enough. So a lot of people understand this, and it makes sense, but some people, this really bugs them. So I'm going to try to explain why having these sort of purchases is actually a good thing for us who aren't spending money. Like me, I'm not spending money to hurry up this elixir storage. For example, I can come into the shop right now. I can go to the army, come down to the end. I don't have any dark elixir, but I can just hit check and see how much it cost me. Right now, I could drop $10 in this game and buy Barbarian King. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to explain why I don't really have an issue with other people who will do this. So the way these games pay for themselves is obviously by spending money. Clash of Clans and many other games are free to play, but then they have optional purchases in-game, which are called IAP, or in-app purchase. So in-app purchase is anything that you buy in the game beyond the initial download. So all these things are in-app purchases. Well, not the goal, just buying the gems. When you actually spend the gems, that's not considered an in-app purchase, just buying them for money initially. So some games also do this where it's like you can buy something for $2 to remove all the ads or something. There's all sorts of different in-app purchases, but this is one that's called a premium currency. So premium currency sort of makes sense considering you have to pay actual money to get it. And there are a couple ways to get it by like destroying natural decorations in game and stuff, and achievements of course. Now, why are these actually a good thing and not just letting certain people get ahead? Well, obviously, Supercell has to pay the bills. They have to pay for server costs for hosting the game, and the big one is they have to pay to keep developing the game. So they took a risk and spent a lot of time and effort making this game, and all that time and effort costs money. So they got to be paid back somehow, and they're not doing it out of the goodness of their own hearts. I mean, sure, they love games as much as us, I'm sure, but they got to pay the bills somehow. You can't pay bills with love and affection, unfortunately. So that's where obviously the in-app purchases are critical. Now, why do I not really have an issue with this? Well, obviously without them, they wouldn't be paying the bills. But with them, who's paying the bills? Am I paying the bills? I mean, I bought gems in this game. I bought $10 in this account, and I bought 0 on my other account. So I guess I've sort of helped pay the bills. But compared to some of these big spenders, I'm not really helping them quite as much as them. So, would you rather have Supercell charge everyone, say, $1, $5, $10 for this game, and have everyone equal? Would you rather have them, rather have a few people spend a ton of money and pay for your game for you? Because that's basically what they're doing. Because that's the two choices. Supercell can either sell their game and make money when you first buy it, or they can try to sell in-app purchases to some players, but not all. So I would absolutely prefer they do the second option, which is sell these in-app purchases to all players. And that's the way the game is, and it's not going to change. It was a decision the developers made when they were first developing the game and designing how they were going to try to pay for their costs. And I'm very glad for this. So I know some of you sort of find it disbelieving to be able to drop some of these big ones like $50 or $100 on this game just for gems, right? Well, actually, some people play a whole lot more. So we're going to hop over to someone's base and talk about what they think about spending gems. And I've asked them a couple questions, so see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, here we are with Mick Flip-Flop's base. So I asked on the official forums if anyone wanted to mind telling me how much they had spent on gems and sort of what they had spent them on and why they purchased them and stuff. So Mick Flip-Flop says this. I spent about $450 on gems, US dollars. Why did I spend gems? So I play with my son and brother-in-law, so gemming keeps him ahead of them. So he's in it for the competition with them. And he also is sort of in a little spending contest with his brother-in-law because his brother-in-law is also buying gems, so he wants to try to stay ahead of him as well. So his gemming spending strategy is he mainly uses it to speed up long constructions, and he thinks that this is sort of a messed up thing, thinking back on it, and he sort of like doesn't do it. Like he's sort of showing that he's like doesn't really approve of himself being impatient. Perhaps hindsight is always more powerful. But he says when the update came out yesterday, he spent over 800 gems just for Barbarian King, as you can see right here. And so the things he would have needed to do to buy this. So first he needed to buy a storage. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Right there. So this costs 260 gems to complete a one-day construction. And then he would have needed to buy the elixir, the dark elixir that is. And 10,000 of it, as you might have seen earlier, costs 600. So he just spent just over 800, as he says. So check off for accuracy on that. That's only about $10 just though, so there's not a ton. But he spent a lot on other stuff. So he says speeding up long construction. So I imagine things like town hall and stuff. I mean, so why do I sort of not have an issue with this? Getting back to sort of my initial point. So Mick Flip-Flop here has taken the decision where he values his time more than his money. Well, at least in certain cases, such as certain long construction. So he'd rather speed it up than wait. And I'm sure he also has at least one extra build hut as well. So this allows him to get ahead, but it's still, I mean, I'm still ahead of him. I mean, I'm at Town Hall 7. I mean, our mortars are the same. My archer towers are ahead. My cannons are ahead. I think his wizards are equal or ahead. I can't remember if I have 3 or 4s. But in general, I mean, I'm still ahead. Yeah. So in general, I'm still ahead of him. I don't really have an issue with this because he hasn't done anything that I'm unable to do if I choose to spend the time to slowly get up and do it. And once again, he says he spent a couple $100. That means that's a couple $100 that's paying for my game, and it's like several of your guys' games. Because I'm sure there's a lot more people who don't buy gems than who do. So a couple big purchases will pay for everyone else's game. So next time you guys see someone who's buying gems, especially lots of them, don't complain that they're getting ahead of you. I would say thank them for paying for your game and making sure that you don't ever have to pay in the future. Because as long as they keep spending, other people like them keep spending, that's great news for us who don't want to spend our own gems and our own money. Okay guys, lastly I'm going to talk a little bit more about how the actual mechanics work in-game when people are spending money. So for the business side of it, these in-app purchases, as I mentioned earlier, those are any of these sales. So what happens when you buy one of these things is the store, in this case the App Store, run by Apple, gets a cut. So they get a 30% cut of any sale. So this counts for both game downloads or in-app purchases. That's how they make their money and how they support their system that they keep running. So that means Supercell is only getting 70% of these sales. So if you buy a $100 one, they're getting $70. If you buy a $10 one, they're getting $7. So Apple takes their cut right there. Beyond that, there's a whole lot of players who won't actually spend money. But even bigger than that is something that's very important to all game developers, and that's called churn. So what is churn? Churn is a very important statistic, and it's basically how often people stop playing your game. So if I started playing today and just new, like brand new account, and it's like, I don't really like this game, I'm going to stop playing. Then I would have churned out once I stopped playing. And you can measure that in the amount of time it takes your average player to churn out. Or you can measure your retention, how many players are still left at, say, 3 days, 7 days, a month down the line. So because I've been playing for, let's see, what has it been? It's been about 3 or 4 months now, probably 4 months. I can say that I'm still retained as a player after 4 months of time. That's how Supercell looks at me and everyone else like me who joined on the same day. But what about all those other people who joined the exact same day as me? Well, what happens is they probably are not actually still in game. In fact, most of them probably have quit by now. And in fact, lots of them never got past the lower levels. So this is very common in games that are free, and I'll explain why. So by having a game that's free, you can obviously offer it to a whole lot of people. And a lot of people try it out to see what it's like. And that's a great thing. I mean, your game gets spread to new people, and all's good, right? Well, then, of course, slowly over time, some people will get tired and stop playing, or some people, their phone will break and they can't play, whatever the reason. There's many reasons to stop playing. But, so some of those players start dropping off. This happens a lot in free games initially, because someone just tries it, decides they don't like it, and uninstalls it right away, or just leaves it on their home screen and doesn't actually play it. So what this means is you actually have to make your money from these people who you both keep engaged and keep selling to. So the number of people who actually make sales is a rather slim number of your total installs. This is very different than other industries or even other gaming things. So if you think about a computer game or an Xbox game or a PlayStation game, what happens when you buy it? You pay your $60 typically, and then it's yours forever. So the developer, I mean, obviously they want you to keep playing it, but if you churn out after 2 days, they still have their money in their pocket. They earn that money off of your sale initially. But in a game that relies on in-app purchases, you've got to maintain your user base for longer if you want to keep making money. And it also means because you're not selling to them initially, you can have a whole lot of players and rely on only a few players to spend a lot more than, like, say, that $60 CD, DVD game you bought for your computer or your console. And instead you're going to pay for it with all this in-app purchasing later down the line. Okay, guys, so feel free to ask me any questions about any of this stuff. I actually do know quite a bit about sort of how these in-app purchases work and how these sort of business models are designed. I've done some work in the past and currently relating to both gaming and apps, so I am a little bit of an authority on the figure. At least I'm not completely talking out of my ass. So guys, please let me know if you have any questions about this. It was a little different sort of subject to my video, but I think it's very informative. The whole purpose of this video was, I was sort of upset by everyone who was saying, like, oh, Supercell, you're selling out by letting people just buy their way to the top. Oh, man, that sort of complaining? No, guys, no. These people are spending money. Thank them for so you don't have to spend money yourself. So, that, guys, is going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys learned something today. This is sort of thing that a lot of people don't know about, and it's pretty important to know sort of the mechanics behind it. So, thank you, Supercell, for keeping my game free and letting us choose as consumers whether we want to spend money or not. Thank you very much, guys. This has been Flammy. Have a great day.